That's such a great intro. Makes me feel very important and very special, so thank you. I wanted to start off, so today, the talk is all about tools. So I feel like I have the easiest and the hardest job because in the next 30 minutes I have to get through 100 plus tools. And frankly, there are probably some of you, most of you, all of you in the audience who know more about specific tools than I do. So what I'm going to do is share my favorites, things that I have tried and tested and use on a regular basis. But this is a fluid, open presentation, dialogue, conversation. So use the Social Fresh hashtag, and when I get to a specific category, if there's something you like better than what I've mentioned, please share it. I love to go through and try out new things. I take my favorite quote from any Step Brothers fans out there, Will Ferrell. Yeah, I'm putting in the man hours so you don't have to. Black leather gloves. So I wanted to start with one of my favorite platforms, and disclosure, I do work with them, but it's a polling platform. So if you have your mobile phone, which I'm sure most of you do, we've heard a lot about GIFs and GIFs over the past several hours. So I need to know how each of you actually pronounces it. Be honest, I'm not going to know your specific answer. You can text A for the hard G or B for soft G, GIF. I hope I have that right, oh my God. So text 660-358-8526. A for hard G, and B for soft G. And we'll look at the results later. May or may not get to it during the presentation, but I'll share it. Ooh, that's me. Okay. So I'm coming to you from having a background in communications, government relations, and public relations. So I've always been a content producer, a relationship manager, community side of things. For those of you who have specific marketing roles in the audience, I'm going to do my best to speak some of your lingo, but this is where I also encourage you to share your expertise because I'm not an expert in both industries. So talking about great content is really important to me. It's the first segment out here that I want to talk about content identification and creation. It's really the largest part of the presentation because it is what I know the best and what I do on a regular basis. I have an awesome job where I get to essentially function as a brand journalist for brands during big or live events. I love what I do. I took an opportunity to put my photo with Grumpy Cat on there. I said, it's your selfie workflow. I just wanted to get that picture in there. It's the truth. So I want to cover 4 concepts or areas today: content, platform-specific apps and tools, because I have to be able to do my job from anywhere, anytime, on any device. Some marketing and automation tools, because some of you in the Facebook group posted that was really important to you. So it's one slide, and then some analytics and monitoring, which is also one slide. But we can talk about all that more in depth after hours, because I'm standing between you and drinks right now. So content identification. One of the things I do every day, and this started long when I was a baby PR pro, I used to have to check the above-the-fold headlines on local newspapers, look up national headlines. I always wanted to know what was trending in the world, many times because I was looking for stories to pitch local media. This was before the days of social. So this concept starts from that behavior. So now I want to know what is trending across the web. Are there stories that I can localize, that I can contribute to, that I can send to brands that I work with so they can jump in and get involved? I've actually never shared most of the tools here publicly in bulk like this. So I've got browser tabs set up so I can check these sites every day. Pop URLs, and I know I'm going fast. So if you're tweeting me that I talk too fast, I know. My mom tells me, my grandma. Pop URLs is my favorite because you can see what's trending on Reddit, which I'll talk about shortly, but these are how you can find trends on all of the major social networks. At a glance, see what people are talking about. It's really important to me because, like I said, it's story identification. I'm looking for trends about what people are talking about, and I'm also building out editorial calendars for a lot of brands where I'm creating content and I'm getting ideas from here. This is my third curated content, and then some of it goes into third original content that I'm creating from this. It's essential for me. I'm also looking at some traditional places that you might be viewing already, but not thinking about looking at them for content ideas like SlideShare and Reddit, Feedly, RSS feeds. Do I have any IFTTT or Zapier users in here? Yes, I love Social Fresh. I have the most intricate systems set up for IFTTT to manage my favorite news and websites, everything from mobile notifications to text messages to phone calls. In fact, every time my mom updates her blog, I get a phone call to my phone. It says, your mom has updated her blog, and I can call her and be like, Mom, great job. It scores a lot of daughter points, but it's also, I'm the oldest of 3 girls, I'm her favorite, it's fine. Everyone knows. But it's great when I can implement that same tactic for a client or a brand that I'm working with. And that's one of my tool best practices, that I try everything out personally before I ever suggest it to a brand, a client, internally. I experiment with everything. So when I go through all that information, what I'm trying to do is get a funnel of content going. It doesn't matter if it's written, video, audio. These are how I segment out social editorial calendar tools, and this depends on the size of the client I'm working with, or if I'm consulting with a small business versus a large brand. One of the things that I really like, if you're a productivity person, which I am, are productivity and collaboration tools like an Asana or Basecamp, where you can assign responsibilities, you can build out editorial calendars in there, you can assign tasks to people, you can store content. And then there's plugins. If you're maybe you're looking to just start blogging individually, or you have a multi-person team. If you're using WordPress, there are some amazing plugins like EditFlow and CoSchedule, which CoSchedule does have a cost, but they sync with EdCal and Google Calendar, which I love when I'm working with the team. Anyone that's been on site with me for an event knows about the dreaded Sarah calendar invites, where I map out all of our time over the days on what type of content we're going to be focused on and when. I feel bad for people who work with me. And high output, sorry, Brooke, my intern's over there. Hi, Brooke. Okay, she's sitting over there. Then there's high output products. So if you're on a big team, and of course going to someone like a Jessica at Duncan to ask about this is even better than talking to me, but there's high output products like Divi HQ. They're platform agnostic, which means they work with any blogging platform that you're using to create content. Good old-fashioned spreadsheets. I am going to admit here and now that I still use spreadsheets for things. I feel so good. So I usually use all Google specific, but when I need to collaborate with people and clients or people who aren't as comfortable with social, I tend to find that works really well. But I actually include those in my last category of work hacks. So our team works primarily in Evernote, and we'll keep links to content calendars in each client's notebook. So we hack together a lot of our best practices and add in new tools as needed. Part of the reason is because I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a small business owner, I want to keep overhead costs down, and I have a virtual team, so I need to work as efficiently and as effectively as possible. Bless you. I think there were like 10 sneezes. Work hacks, make you sneeze. What about photos? This is probably one of the most difficult things for me, photos and videos. Any of you that are producing content on a regular basis, I find people have like a million different ways on how they try to get photos approved through the pipeline and then uploaded. My favorite thing is just to have people who are in corporate have a dedicated mobile or tablet device where they can store information that they need to upload real time on a regular basis. But these are a few of my favorite workarounds. Latergram. It's still very new, so if you're using another service that's a competitor, that's great, most are paid. Latergram is free, and right now it's only available on the browser and iOS, and I believe they're launching Android soon. But what I do is from my desktop is upload and schedule all of my Instagram photos with all of the hashtags, comments, tagging the client, everything that I need to do, I schedule it. And then I get a reminder on my phone that photo needs to be posted, and I can simply click on it, upload it to Instagram, and it's done. Which it's a huge time saver for me. There's also Viral Woot or Viral Tag for Pinterest. This is another opportunity if you have good tools that you're using or a photo sharing process, please post this now. Evernote is another place we store photos. It is not the most effective, I will say, but it's still a place where we backlog tons of photos for clients. I work with a yoga studio that we're taking a lot of photos for, and we're kind of just throwing them all in there for as needed for future events and social content. And then Buffer. I'm a big Buffer fan. Yay, I love Buffer. If it's a tool you haven't checked out, it will change your life. You'll be so happy. Thanks, Social Fresh. Hashtag, I love you, Buffer and Social Fresh. You can schedule posts including photos on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Is that everything? Google+. Yeah, Google+. So I love it. I need to give credit again to my intern, Brooke, who took this photo. We're in a month-long photo challenge right now. It was a random yoga pose, back bend. Nikki, where are you? Yoga tomorrow morning. Yes. Automating the web, also very important. This applies whether or not you're a small business owner, an entrepreneur, working for an enterprise. I do a lot of monitoring. I do a lot of content production. and also following competitors, seeing what other people are doing. So using a combination of Zapier and IFTTT has saved me a countless number of hours and time during the week. Days, years. IFTTT is free, so I usually recommend that first, and then I go to Zapier for everything that I can't get done with IFTTT. IFTTT focuses primarily on social outlets, and what happens with it, for those of you who are users, it's just like putting the web to work for you. I can say when I update my Facebook profile, I want my Twitter profile to change also. So if you have a lot of accounts that are tied together, this is something that can really make things efficient for you. You can set up phone calls, and like I said, with my mom. And Zapier, on the other hand, is a little bit more like the business or professional side of things. You can do more, for sure, than you can with IFTTT, more sophisticated actions. Like you can add a MailChimp subscriber list from a Wufoo form, so you can actually have names populated to your MailChimp list when you run an online campaign. And it just as a marketer, that saves you a ton of time and makes your list much more effective. So I'm just sharing a link here of some of my favorite public IFTTT recipes. If you ever want to have a chat about it, tweet me online, or if you want more than this, I will send them to you, hopefully. Third-party involvement. We've heard a lot about community today and how to get people involved. I'm always looking for new ways to get people to help generate content, especially doing a lot of work at live and big events. We constantly have so many content creators. We're looking for ways to really leverage them and make sure they can tell a brand story. One of the clients I've done work with is the Licensing Expo. It's the largest licensing event in the world. It takes place in Vegas every year. And simply by honing all of the people that were there, targeting the hashtags and displaying them, and finally launching a social strategy around it, we realized attendees were generating like 42 million impressions just on their own. That's a huge commodity and something that could be lost very easily if you aren't aware and actually do something with them. It could be lost conversation. But I want to share a few of my favorites. One is Twibble. These names are so funny, aren't they? Imagine 10 years ago me standing up here like, I got a Twibble on Twitter. I have a 2.5-year-old. So you can publish content from any RSS feed to Twitter. Also a time saver, and I always like to break down content like a third original, a third aggregated, a third curated. It saves me time. It's not right for every person, but I find that mix is most effective for the pushing of content that I'm trying to get out. So I'll find my favorite RSS feeds, whether it's an Engadget or the animated GIF feed from BuzzFeed, and I can get those to send out via any Twitter account that I want on a regular basis, scheduled for different times. It just saves me one extra step of having to schedule information. I will tell you, I keep an Evernote file of every single third-party app I use that has access, that regularly uses my accounts, simply because if something should happen to me, that's so morbid, but maybe I'm like having a spa day or something and I can't access my feeds, or let's say some really important breaking news happens and I know that some of my content just isn't right for that moment. I can get in and edit it as needed, and I can access that from anywhere, so I can see what accounts I'm using, my passwords, all that good stuff. Triber. It's one I used back in the day. I'm not dissing them, saying 2.5 out of 4 stars. I just think if you're looking for a way to get bloggers to share your stuff, it could be a valuable resource for you, or it could not. You might build your own third-party ambassador program, and that works fine your way. But you go to Triber, you find or generate a topic that people could care about, you find other bloggers, and you agree to share one another's content. So it's like built-in distribution, bigger reach, and you can build awareness a lot faster than you can as a one and only. Round Team, this is the $, so you know that there's money involved here. It lets you connect your Twitter account and let others contribute for you. So you can connect team members to a Twitter account and let them contribute without giving your password or other credentials, but letting them generate. If you ever had to do a fan takeover day or something, it's a way that you can let them contribute. That's really brave, though. I want to talk about my role as a digital correspondent. I feel really lucky. I feel like I have the best job in the world every day. It wasn't something I went to college for. I didn't even know it existed. I had hedged between broadcast journalism and public relations, and I feel like I have now joined those two worlds together. It's a crazy time. There aren't a lot of people in my space. I mean, I just kind of made up this title for myself, but I felt like it communicated what I was doing. But now I've locked myself into guaranteeing for brands that I can create really good content on the fly. So as I'm talking about tools, I'd be remiss not to talk about some of my favorites and then how we actually produce that content. Some of the tools are tangible, some are not. So many of you retweeted this list already. These are my top 10 favorite lists that won't cost a dime. That's probably a lie because there's a freemium model for a lot of these. So for some, you may have to pay to get additional features. But these are the ones that I use the most. I've touched on there. I'll let you take a picture. I've tweeted it yesterday, so if you go to @PRSarahEvans, you can actually see it quickly. But I wanted to share my favorite realization. As we've moved into the tablet age, like with iPads, I realized that I could now create, edit, and share content from one place. And if any of you have ever tried to produce content quickly, and you have to email it back and forth, you have to put it on a jump drive and upload it, you have to edit it on someone else's computer. Who's been through that nightmare of crazy content creation? It makes you want to pull your hair out. I found a way to hack together something that has saved me a million times. If any of you saw me during South by Southwest, I had this set up as a backup camera because I do always come with a professional videographer, an editor, a community person with me. We do have a sophisticated professional team, but I needed something that could get the quick and dirty information that we needed to get out right away. So I brought the case. It's actually up in my room. I lied when I said I have the case with me, but I can bring it down so that I'm not a liar. It's the iOgrapher case, and yes, I'm promoting them. I'm not in any way compensated by them. That attaches in it. Once you put your iPad in that case, and they make it for iPhones, maybe, I don't know if they do anything for Android, but we'll find something comparable for you. But it allows you to attach lighting kits, an LED lighting kit, my sound kit. So I have wide-angle lenses that I can attach to it, my shotgun mic. I've got a tripod and the LED light. And with all of that, it was cheaper than buying a brand new high-end camera that still wasn't going to let me edit and share right from that. So I put my favorite apps that I'm talking about, and I'm going to tell you my favorite photo and video apps, shoot from this device, I edit, and then I share to social networks right from there. Typically, if I'm with a client at the time, I can even show them the content on there. I set up the tripod, and they can view everything and make edits and changes. This is not always the highest quality content, meaning it's not the Dunkin' Donuts level. I hired an agency to do this. They have an understanding of what this kind of content is going to look like, whether it's Instagram photos. It's not a professional level Vine. It might be written content or some videos that we use apps to make it look a little bit more professional or add word or text overlay. Additional content creation tools. I just wanted to be mindful as we're talking about content that it's not always just blogging, it's not always just Vine, it's not always Instagram. Many times I've got clients that want me to do a little something different that gets shared on their site or on their blogs. So a few of my favorites when I need to think outside of the box. Screener is a web-based screen recorder. I love doing little screen grabs and sharing things or making animated GIFs from my screen grabs. Canva. Relatively new on the scene, but you can do everything from Facebook covers and invites. They have a lot of pre-designed content and they help guide you along and give you lots of stock photo images for free. And you can make pretty nice designs without being a professional designer if your budgets are short. SoundCloud for audio. People forget sometimes just an audio soundbite can be really powerful. TimeToast lets you do timelines. Giver lets you donate via tweets if there's any nonprofits in the room. I love ThingLink. I don't think it's caught on yet, but you can make images interactive where you can put multiple links on an image and then put it in a post and let people click to find out more information. Great if there's anyone that really relies on, if there's clothing designers or product that you sell consistently. And PictoChart's great for those awesome infographics. Who doesn't love an infographic? One of my favorite things is the PINTRISTIFICATIOn of the world. Do you like that? I think I made these up. And that is my son on the left and his girlfriend. I was teaching them how to take photos in the park, and I think this ended in a fight with someone throwing my camera, but it's fine. We're in the day and age now where visual is so important. I don't need to tell you that, but I always say every post needs a pin-worthy photo. I've got 5 minutes left. Okay, every post needs a pin-worthy photo. But I have to tell you that you should know where you're getting images from and give proper attribution. Check with your legal teams. That's my disclaimer. Reverse image search. I want to talk about creating great visuals from your phone, from your tablets. I did my best to combine iOS and Android. It wasn't the case for all of them. This is another opportunity. If you use an awesome tool that you love, please tweet it now so other people can see it, use it, try it out. When I'm creating visuals from my phone, I have a folder that I've set aside with these apps, and this is what I use primarily, from Fonto and over that have awesome text overlay to PicFrame where you can group photos together. Every time I post something like that, I get a call from like a relative or friend, how did you do that? Where you put all the pictures together? I think I'm impersonating my grandma right now. But I don't know where that voice came from. Foster lets you do pretty cool posters right from your phone. I love that. If I need to do something quickly and make it look like I had it professionally designed, it's a really fun app to use. ViscoCam. This is the photo editing tool that photographers use. I don't think it gets the love it deserves. I've only met the founders one time, but they are brilliant. It is sophisticated, beautiful. Many times you're looking at photographers' photos on Instagram, and they're like, this was shot with iOS. You're like, I call bananas on that. They're probably using ViscoCam and made it look just amazing. If you need to take screenshots, if you're a mobile developer or you do a lot of product work on your phone and you need to show screenshots of things from your phone, I love Screenshot because it actually takes the screenshot of your phone that you take and puts it in an iOS design. So it just looks really professional and well done. GIF or GIF Boom, making your own GIFs. A Beautiful Mess is really fun. It's also a text visual overlay product that I love. And Photo Repost, but if you're using another app to repost photos from Instagram, that's cool. I just really enjoy this one. It lets me easily repost Instagram photos for clients or for myself that I really like. Now let's talk about videos really quick. Share yours, don't forget. But has anyone tried out ChatterPix? It is so fun. So you get an image of a face, you can upload one. It can be a client, you draw a line and it makes the mouth move and you can talk for them. My mom actually told me about this. How cool is that? And it's become one of my favorites. And it's in my arsenal now. I haven't used it for a client yet, but I've got it there in case the opportunity arises. I feel like Social Fresh is that opportunity. Maybe we'll make some ChatterPix together tonight over drinks. WeVideo, Lapsit is great. ABCY, animate, I don't know how you say that, but you can do some really cool stop motion from your phone. And if you're like me, champagne taste and beer budget, these are things you can use for your desktop browser. PicMonkey, I actually have a pro version of that. I use that every day. Canva again, and LiceCap, this lets you record your screen and save it as an animated GIF. So even if you're watching a YouTube video or you're playing around with something on your desktop, you now can make amazing animated GIFs. Okay, I'm going to go through these as quickly as I can. 4 tools to manage Instagram. Check them out. Learn them. Statagram is great. It's a web-based Instagram manager. Reposts, I've already talked about. Latergram, I talked about. And Twitterland, it's a desktop tool that analyzes your competitors' visuals, which is kind of fun. I hope many of you have probably tried out Hootsuite and TweetDeck, a tool that I think is also underutilized, and it's great. Shared by, I believe it's also a browser plugin, but anytime you create and share a link on Twitter, it drives people back to the original page that you want to send them to, but it comes with a custom engagement bar at the top with a message that you're promoting. It lets people click back to your website so you can drive more views with every link that you share, even if it's not custom content. It's one of my faves. And of course, Twitter ads. It's a tool I encourage you to try out if you have an ad budget, if you've not yet done so. A favorite pro Facebook tool, Sway. This is great because you can find out what's trending in your communities or your circles, depending how closely people are connected to you. You can find out what content's most important to them, and you can actually share content based on that. It connects to a multitude of Facebook pages, so if you have clients, it's great. You can schedule. It also works with Twitter and LinkedIn, and it just makes sharing and finding content so much easier so you don't have to manually do everything all the time. Your time's important. Real-time and live sharing, which is really important to me. We've got Livefire with Storify, so you can do everything from powering blog comments, doing side notes, or you can do live blog and live chat. So if you're covering an event for a publication or an outlet, this is phenomenal to go ahead and produce that live content because it's not always easy. Scribble Live is great for video, and Rebel Mouse is a favorite of mine. I actually power my entire blog with Rebel Mouse. You can check it out at Sarah's Faves. I'm at 47 seconds. Social polling, wedgies, I love them. I work with them. Voting links are visible. They're the only tool that is integrated with Tumblr on both the front and the back end. I love them. I can't say enough good things about them. I used them before I worked with them, so please check them out. Oh, and this is the first time ever sharing this. So I wanted to talk about syndication and distribution. I have a list called My Arsenal, where I keep a list of every single place I can share content. And this is just a fragment. I think it has about 100 different things I can do, but I'm sharing this with you guys. These are things to keep in mind as you're sharing content when you produce it. You're sharing it through your own social channels. What are all the other places where it can live that don't always cost a lot of money? Okay, so I'm done. You'll have to look at the marketing and automation tools. I'm just showing these slides. Tease. Tease. Okay. And then I just included some bonus slides. I felt like it was salesy and exciting. If you want guest blogging opportunities, and that's me. Where's Beverly? Is she in here? This is my unicorn head. Beverly's a unicorn. Ask her about it. She'll tell you. My favorite animated GIF search engines. I'm sorry that I had to speak really, really fast. I love you guys. Thank you for having me here. Tell me about your favorite tools, too.